That's right, you saw it correctly. It's not a typo. We're gonna rank all 58 rooms in the Spencer Mansion in Resident Evil 1. And this is gonna be kind of a long one, so we're gonna jump right into the tier list, starting with the worst rooms in Resident Evil. So now, starting with the F tier, the trash tier, I honestly think the underground passage is the worst room in the mansion by far. It's just so boring. It's so bland. There's nothing going on here. I don't know what color blue this is, but I do not like it. It's just so cold. I know it's supposed to be a horror game, but it doesn't scare me. It doesn't appeal to me. It's just a very forgettable room, you know? And this has nothing to do with the Clown Fart soundtrack, by the way. This is completely ranking the rooms as they are without any influence of the gameplay. And the next room we have, it's basically the same fucking room, right? Only you have these zombies munching away on our friend here. Yeah, this is the same room, but maybe even worse, actually. There's not even a ladder here. It's just the same gray, ugly color. Yeah, there's really not much to say. I just do not like this room. It's easily my least favorite. I always forget about these rooms until I play the game again, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about these stupid rooms. So, yeah. The Underground Passage 1 and 2 belong firmly in the F tier. Alright, now we move on to the elevator stairway, and this is just, I'm so disappointed with this room. It could have been so much more, right? You start at this little part in the bottom and you walk up the stairs. I used to always wonder what was on the other side of this door when I first played the game. And then when you finally get here, it's just so underwhelming. It's just it's just a bullshit ass underwhelming, bland hallway. And it's dark, but not in a good way. Now that I think of it, I think it has the same exact lights as the blue underground passageways, which is awful. And it's like the room is just trying to force you to go through it, right? You can't really take a detour. You can only take like a few steps right before you get to the stairs until you're just like, oh, I guess I'll go up here. Yeah, it's just like the room is forcing you to go through. And the elevator is cool, but it doesn't even stop on this floor, right? It's not working. What's up with that? And the light shining through is actually pretty cool to me. I think that's a good visual, but everything else is just such a letdown. Like, the most memorable part of the room is going through the door, and you're just like, oh, it leads back here again. And that's pretty much it. Okay, moving on. All right, this room bothers me a lot. And holy shit, it's the same lights as the previous two rooms. This room is just so, in a word, ugly. It has ugly wallpaper. It's just so tacky. I don't know. There's like a good kind of tacky and a bad kind of tacky, and this is not good. It's just not pleasant to walk around here. The walls just seem way too bulky. Like, why are they so big? Why are they so imposing? It shouldn't be like this, right? Yeah, and the painting just doesn't appeal to me. Like, what the f is this? It's just one painting. Either have no paintings or a whole bunch lined against this wall. You have so much real estate. You have so much room for paintings, and you only have this one little painting right here of this lady with a very like long neck, like an 18th century Victorian person. Is that what they're called? Yeah. So this room, it just leads to cooler rooms, and that's all this room really is. It's just tacky in every other way. And I don't like the layout either. It's even shaped like an F, so it definitely belongs in the F tier. All right, moving on. Now we're moving on to the wardrobe. I really do not like this room. It's just so spacious, but empty and bland. It's like this mirror is way too big. I know it's a wardrobe and you're supposed to look at yourself, but it's too big. It makes me uncomfortable. And actually, this is one of the only rooms that have a mirror in the mansion. Do you want to guess how many rooms have a mirror? Go ahead, pause the video, think it over. And the answer is 3. So if you got it right, congratulations. You can punch me in the face if you see me in real life. And if you got it wrong, you have to subscribe. Sorry about that. It's just how it is. I didn't make the rules, even though I made the rules. Yeah, it's like this mirror is so big, and the only thing it does is reflect more of the shitty room back at you. I don't know what these curtains are. Everything has a curtain. Do you need to be so, like, hidden away? I don't know. I guess these are changing rooms, right? But there's just like a little closet here, and exactly like Jill says, it's nothing special. And so it's just a forgettable room, other than having the special little door here. Moving on. All right, this one might be a hot take. This might be controversial, but I don't like this room at all. I think it's way too overrated. It's too ritzy. Is it opulent? Is that the word? Like this kind of fake kind of wealth it's trying to showcase, but it's just so dumb. The room is dumb. The piano's in a really weird spot, and all the quote-unquote furniture is just really odd. Like, why is this desk so small in a room so big? It's like your piano instructor's just sitting here like, play the goddamn scale again, or I'll blast you with a bazooka. Yeah, fireplace is actually kind of big, which is cool, but it just doesn't fit. It's just awkward. I think it's the worst fireplace in the game by far. And I personally do not like checkerboard patterns for floors. I know some people love this, but it's just not for me. And the paintings are just dull. Jill doesn't even comment on them. They're just so bad. That's how bad they are. Jill has nothing to say about any of the paintings in this room. And honestly, I know it's iconic. You fight Yawn in here. You fight the giant snake in here. But be honest with yourself. Would you remember this room if there wasn't a giant snake boss fight in here? I don't think so. So it's going in the F tier. Now, moving on. And this one, you might agree with me here. The dining room, second floor. It's just so... It's unfun to walk around. It's so awkward to navigate, especially when there's hunters. I know we're not talking about the game. But yeah, if you want to avoid somebody at a party, you just see them walking down the one side of the rail and you have to walk around the other. They're like, hey, where are you going? I wanted to talk to you. I'm like, no, actually, I'm going to go on this side of the rail. Thank you. Yeah, it's just really awkward to navigate around. Like, you just want to get from A to B, but you have to go on this giant circle. And the carpet is just way too red for my taste. So I think this is a trash room, going into the F tier. All right, next we have the rough passageway. And this is basically just the second floor version of the really shitty underground passage. And you have to know the key code combination for this. Like, come on, man. It's just such a letdown. Like, you want to know what's behind this door, like throughout the first part of the game. And then you finally get here and you're like, this is it? Jeez. It doesn't have the worst color. Like, I kind of like this lighter gray cement look. And it does have this one cool camera angle where you're just kind of walking down here. But other than that, it's so forgettable. Like, it looks like it belongs in the basement. So it's going in the F tier. And moving right along to the room right next to it is the elevator second floor. And this has the same problem as the central corridor. It's just nothing interesting, but it leads to other cooler rooms. But the room itself is just really annoying and boring. Like, it's just so complicated to walk around these things. There's this random divot in the wall. It's like, why is this here? You know, like, I like hiding places as much as the next person, but it just kind of bothers me. I don't like how it doesn't make sense. Some parts of the hallway seem wider than others, which bothers me for some reason. It like throws off my OCD. Yeah, other than this elevator, which I guess is the star of the show, it's just so forgettable. And all the forgettable rooms go in the F tier. So now we're going to move on to the D tier. But before we do that, we need to talk about today's video sponsor, AquaCure. If you have aqua, we can cure it. I still don't know what it does, but it does it well. Try promo code www.aquacure.gov and for your free promo or something. Thanks, Umbrella, for sponsoring today's video. Now back to the tier list. Alright, now moving on to the D tier. This might be the hottest take of the video, but I think this room is extremely overrated. It's way too uninviting. It's so uncomfortable. Like, I would never, ever want to eat in here. Can you imagine trying to eat in here while listening to this clock just tick away? And you're just trying to watch a YouTube video on your phone? It's like, I'd go crazy. I don't know about you. It's iconic, the scene with Barry examining Chris's blood. And by the way, do you know how many rooms have a permanent blood stain? I'll give you the answer at the end of the video. But yeah, man, if you like extravagant Hogwarts-style dinners, then maybe this room is for you, but I just don't like it. It's way too showy, and there's not enough substance. It's just, there's nothing inside, just like me. There's just nothing inside, all right? Jill said it best. Listen to Jill. All right, on to the next. The next room in the D tier is the dressing room. D for dressing room. And it has the same picture as the F passage, or that central corridor. I notice a theme here. And I personally cannot stand the layout of this room. The feng shui does not spark joy at all. Like, this room would drive me crazy. Like, why would you sit here and look at what? And there's no chair and the vanity. Like, what are we doing here? And there's an object of art that's just right there in your face. It's like, object in my way. And I don't know, man, like, I do like tiny little nooks and crannies like this, but if it's just a desk, why? just push this entire shelf thing back a few inches so there's no tiny hallway, and yeah, you just free up a lot more space. It'd be less awkward to navigate. And if you're gonna have this tiny little hideaway, at least make it interesting, you know, not just a little desk with no mirror. Like, who's gonna sit back here? I think I made my point. That's why it's going in the D tier. Moving on. The next room in the D tier is the wardrobe closet. This is the special room that you need to get in with a special key, and you can change into your special little outfit. And that's pretty much the only unique feature about this room. You just need a special key to unlock it. And depending on how good or bad the clothes smell in here, I think this room could rank higher or lower. It's kind of cozy. That's why it's not in the F tier, but I don't know. The clothes do look kind of soft, but it's just a forgettable room. I don't know. It could be a lot more. It reminds me when I used to stock in a clothing department store. I used to be a warehouse worker. I f***ing hated those people. They treated us like shit. I don't know. Like, just because I'm behind the scenes and I'm not selling clothes, I'm still a person. I just open all these f***ing boxes at 6 in the morning. Can you can you do something yourself? You're too busy making money. I made so many sales. I despise salespeople. I think they're the worst kind of person. Sorry to be so f***ing divisive, but seriously, if you're a salesperson, you have the worst personality, I think. And the next room, on to the trap room. That's right, the trap room is in the D tier. Call me crazy, but it's just a tiny room, not cozy at all. There's 3 camera angles in here for some reason. you just need one. I don't know. And like, the room's just kind of, it's simple, it's understated, which I like, but the only interesting thing about this room is that it tries to kill you. And it just kind of looks like it smells a bit bad with those water stains that are like high above on the ceiling, if you could see. Yeah, just a kind of underwhelming room. It does one thing and that's it. All right, now moving on to the next room, which is in the next room, actually, which is the living room. And I don't know if I would call this living, right? I actually hate this lamp up here with a passion. I don't know why. They look like glowing antlers. I don't know. I just really, really do not like this lamp. And that's what made me rank this room so low, actually. I don't like this tapestry here either. It just bothers me. I don't know. It looks like a pirate's flag. It just doesn't fit. Like, this place looks cozy at first, but it's the exact opposite. There's only one couch here, right? So you have to face this wall that has like nothing in there. And it's like, why not have 2 couches, you know? You could just talk to each other and, you know, hang out, have some coffee on this coffee table here. But no, the design doesn't make sense. It's like if AI designed a cozy room, or what it thinks a cozy room is, but it just looks so artificial. It's like no one would ever live here, right? And I don't know, I'm bored already. Just give me the shotgun back. Moving on. The next room in the D tier is the bedroom, and I have a lot to say about this room, and none of it's good. It just has this musty smell. I can smell it just by looking at it. Like, look at this purple wallpaper. You know it doesn't smell good. It's just an ugly color with ugly paintings. It's like the room you sleep in when you go to your grandpa's house, and not the grandpa you like either. It's like the grandpa you hate who's an alcoholic. And the beds look so uncomfortable. Like, what are these things at the end here? It's like blocking your feet. Like, you can't even stretch your legs without hitting these. And what are these pillows? Look how flat they are. Like, how is that going to support your neck? This just seems so poorly designed, so uncomfortable, right? And the lighting is just so dim. I don't know. There's no nightstands. Like, it's barbaric, right? Where are you going to put your phone and your wallet when you go to sleep? I don't like it. It just bothers me. So that's why it's going in the D tier. Next room in the D tier is the deer room, and it's called that because of this deer right here. There's just not much to say. There's nothing going on in this room. Like, it has a carpet. The wallpaper is not too bad. I'll give it a pass. Like, it's very minimalist, which I like. And the carpet, it feels comfortable, even though it might be a little musty smelling. The deer head is not my thing. I'm not a hunter. I'm more of a gatherer. I don't know. Either way, there's just nothing going on here. Moving on. All right, next room we have the isolated passage. And again, there's not too much going on here. There's a grave with a little button switch and a little ladder, which is cool. But honestly, there's nothing else going on here. It's just too small, but it's also not cozy. And I don't think it smells too bad in here. Like, it maybe looks like it smells rotting, but I think it has that more, you know, that smell like after it rains and you just kind of smell the dirt. I imagine that's what this room smells like, but there's just not too much going on in here. I'd get way too bored if I stayed here too long, so going in the D tier. Next room in the D tier is the C passage. And I used to love this hallway and I want to rank it higher just for my kind of nostalgia bias that I have. But after spending some time analyzing this objectively, I realize it's just a pretty dull room. It's just the same thing in all three C sections, like the hallway, not the berth thing. But the carpet looks comfortable. The lighting is not too bad, but kind of monotonous. And yeah, everything's a bit too homogeneous and monotonous, and that's why it doesn't rank higher than the D tier. Moving on, the next room in the D tier is the Pillar Passage. I don't know. I just don't like it. It's like the devs really wanted to showcase this pillar for some reason, and it's not even that interesting. There's like better pillars in the game. Like, why are you trying to showcase this pillar, right? It just gets in the way. But sometimes Richard hangs out here, which is pretty cool. And the trim pattern and color is not my thing. It's just a little too flashy and loud. I don't know. I don't know why they're trying to showcase this pillar so badly. Like, this pillar is probably the most unimportant pillar in the entire mansion. Like, if this pillar gets knocked down, will the entire mansion go with it? I don't think so. So, going in the D tier. All right, moving on to the next room. And this one kind of breaks my heart, honestly. It's the heliport lookout. This room could have been so much more. Like, you experience it in the second half of the game. You can see such a nice view of the heliport and all the woods. And damn, the mansion still extends all the way there. That's a huge mansion. And the view is the best thing by far about this room, but there's no chair where you can just kind of chill. You expect me to lean against this table and take in the sights? No, man, I don't think so. This room just had so much potential to be a nice little cozy hideaway, but it just really falls short. This could have been the room, right? If it had a chair, it would rank like 2 tiers higher, but unfortunately, we have to put this in the D tier. All right, now we're moving on to the C tier, the average tier. And honestly, a lot of these rooms are pretty average in general, but this tier encompasses the most rooms, I think, in the mansion. So the first room in the C tier is the kitchen, and it's a little industrial. I used to work in a kitchen for 2 weeks. I was a dishwasher, and I absolutely hated it. Like, the cold water would splash on my groin, and it would just be cold, but my hands would be like burning hot from washing all the... It was just horrible. I don't know how people work in kitchens. I feel like you have to be on cocaine in order to be a successful chef. But I don't know, maybe not. So anyway, I prefer a more cozy, homey kind of kitchen, and this is a little too industrial for my taste, but it's kind of a fixer-upper. It has a lot of potential, you know. But the location of the kitchen itself is kind of weird to me. Maybe you run the food up the elevator, and I don't know. It's just not cozy. I like a kitchen with a window, right? Not in a musty old basement. And there's another bloodstain here, which is pretty normal. It's not like a vegan kitchen, I don't think. And if this microwave worked, that would be awesome. Oh, it's an oven. All right, moving on. Next room is the mansion hall first floor. And this might be a super hot take, but honestly, this room is mid. If you're honest with yourself, this room is very average. There's just nothing to do. It's open and very bland. The colors are very washed out. There's only one little table here with a typewriter. And there's no awesome Lisa Trevor door, which is a big letdown. I know this goes against the chronology of the games, but I don't know. Once you know that there's the Lisa Trevor door here, you can never think otherwise. And to me, the carpet kind of seems uneven here, and that bothers me way more than it should. And I'm really trying to ignore my nostalgia bias here. I know it's the first room you see in the game, and it's one of the most iconic in the series, but just standing alone without all the other stuff, it's really mid-tier at best, so I'm putting it in the C tier. Moving on, we have the L passage, and this might be another hot take. Oh, there's spiders in here. It's just not that cool of a room. I know it's iconic with the dog jump scare that crashes through the window, and I actually don't mind the wallpaper too much, even though it's tacky. I think it's tacky in like a good kind of way, but the carpet is truly awful. It looks like throw up. I don't know. There is creepy stuff in the little drawers here, which is always nice. I like creepy stuff, but you can't even see out of the windows. There's so many windows and you just can't even see out of them. So it's kind of a letdown. Just an average room at best. Moving on. Next room is the winding passage. And I really, really enjoy the hardwood floor here, but that's about it. I really want to like this room more. The wallpaper is a little, it's just kind of meh. Like it has this kind of, the flower designs are just kind of underwhelming. And the paintings are just kind of mid. Like Jill doesn't even comment on them. There's just nothing going on in here. I do like this painting though. I don't know why she doesn't say anything about it. And the winding passage just really is not fun to walk through. Like I can imagine like being in my socks trying to run full speed and I just can't stop myself and I bonk into a wall and it just hurts. And this door leads to the only bathroom in the mansion. So you can imagine the line of people just holding their bladders, just waiting to use the bathroom. It's the biggest oversight in mansion history. But since this is the only bathroom, it probably smells really bad in this hallway now that I think about it. And the next room is the back passage. I used to kind of like this room. It's just kind of tucked away. The floor is nice, but the wallpaper is just kind of ugly. I do like the lighting. It's dim in like a good way. Yeah, but it's just one of those rooms that leads to other rooms again. So not much else to say. C tier. All right, moving on is the East Stairway, first floor. And I kind of like this room. It's very minimalist, which is nice. I love the calming brown color. I'm a huge brown fan. It's just very earthy. The floor is neat. That pattern is called a herringbone, by the way. I looked it up. So you can't say you didn't learn anything while watching this. But other than that, I love the high ceilings. I love the color. I love the brown trim on the lighter brown wall. But there's just not much else to do here. It's a bit small. There's nowhere to really sit unless you want to sit on top of the stairs. And honestly, this room is on the verge of being B tier, but if you could do just a little bit more, it would rank higher. Moving on. Next is the bar. Now, hear me out. I know you might be thinking this should be at least in the B tier, but for a bar, it's kind of underwhelming. Like the dim lights make me want to go to sleep. The bar selection looks really bare. Like it looks like they just serve... I don't even know what they have in bars anymore. I don't really drink ever, but it just looks uncomfortable. I think bars are supposed to be comfortable, right? And the plants look plastic, and I weight that very heavily in my criteria. Yeah, just for a bar standard, it's very uncomfortable. Like, if I were to sit and chill in the bar, I would probably just hang out on this back stool here and heckle Chris as he tries to play the piano. Do you know any Sublime? Do you know how to play any Sublime? If, don't ask me how I know this, if you ever were a solo musician playing acoustic guitar in a bar in the mid-2000s, someone's gonna ask you if you play Sublime. Anyway, what was I saying? So the piano is the only thing that stands out in this room, and it just could be so much better, in my opinion. And by the way, do you know how many rooms have a piano? Take a guess. Think about it. You can pause the video. If you guessed 2, then you're right. And if you got it right, I'm proud of you. And if you got it wrong, I'm still proud of you. So, moving on. All right, moving on to the next room. It's the attic. And attics, in my opinion, can be many things. They can be scary, they can be cozy, they could be nostalgic. But this one doesn't fit into any category. It tries to be too many things and it just ends up being nothing. And it really doesn't have its own identity, right? It's just too big. Like, I don't expect to find my old Pokemon cards up here or anything like that. But wait, are they? No, never mind. Yeah, it just doesn't really feel very attic-y to me. It has kind of a monotone color too, and it's just way too big for attic standards for me. And there's a lot of pillars in this room. I don't know why this isn't the pillar room. It doesn't focus on one pillar, right? They're not trying to show off. They're just there to support, just a quiet support. So as a room, it's kind of cool, but for an attic, it's just not the best. Moving on. All right, next room on our list is the roofed passage. And it does have some charm to it, even though there's not much to it. It's just kind of plain. The outside ambient sound is just really cool to me. And being able to see through those little openings on the top of the roof is just, I don't know, it's just kind of a nice touch. I like to see that. And I do like the design choice of the ivy. It just makes you feel like you're almost outside, But it's just, the room itself is just a little too plain to be placed any higher than the C tier. So moving on to the next room is the storeroom. And you might be thinking, I had to find 4 crests for this shit. Like, you risk your life scouring the entire mansion just to be able to open this door, and you're like, is this it? Even though I really actually like sheds, honestly, I love sheds and storerooms. I like stuff that's stored, you know? I like little shelves and little barrels and stuff. And I know there's more stuff beyond the door, and I know that, okay? I've played the game. I've played this before. But this room is kind of a transitory space, right? It's like the last room of the mansion before you're in the courtyard. And as a kind of transitory space, I feel like it should be more encompassing of outside and inside kind of vibes, right? And I like these kind of rooms personally. Like, you have a minute to collect yourself before you're totally outside, before you're just like in public. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of jarring. If you're ever in a room that's like completely inside, then all of a sudden you're outside. It's like, damn, I don't want to see any clouds yet. Just give me a minute. But as a transitory space, I just wish there were more things that kind of made it seem more almost outside. Like, if there were little open spaces around the top of this roof passage here, I think this room would rank a little higher. But as it is, it's just kind of an average room. All right, next up, we have the armor room. Like, this room is pretty interesting at first. There's a lot to look at, but then after a while, you're just kind of like, all right, I'm over this. Get me the hell out of here. It reminds me of an art exhibit, like when you walk by and you're already kind of over it, and you just kind of hover around to be polite and pretend you're like interested. Like a sophisticated person, you just pretend like you're into the art or the exhibit or whatever, but deep down you're just like, boring. Yeah, so there's also a button that makes gas leak. So I don't know how I feel about that. So I probably wouldn't want to be here too long. Next up, we have the attic entry. And this is one of those rooms that, like, I don't know why, but I just kind of like it. I know it has the same trim pattern as the other pillar room, but in this light, it just looks so much better. I don't know why. I literally see it in a different light, you know? And also there's another bloodstain here, in case you're counting. And this might be the coolest bloodstain in the mansion. This room just made me realize how important lighting is. I also really like these tiny little stairs right before the attic. I don't know why, I'm a big fan of tiny stairs. It just makes me feel like such a special big boy when I walk up the stairs. But other than that, there's not too many things to look at, so that's why it ranks in the C tier. All right, next room in the C tier is the small dining room. And I kind of like it at first, but it has these weird circle plates on the wall. And I don't know what it is, but it just grosses me out. Like, I really hate whoever put these up here. It's just so... Do you ever meet those people that claim to be artists or have this kind of aesthetic appreciation, but everything they make is just so ugly and tacky and just f***ing gross, and they just, oh no, it's just my style. My style is just making unpleasing stuff that looks generic and odd. I don't know. The room is really quaint. Like, candlelight is always nice. I kind of like it better in the dark, though, to be honest with you. And this is a much better eating space than in that big dining room. And it even has a little hidden room here. Like, the color's really cool in here. But then there's just a cabinet. Like, there's nothing else, right? I wish I could push the table and chairs into this little room and just make it a nice little cozy eating space. But since I can't rearrange the furniture, I have to put it in the C tier. All right, moving on to the next room on our list is the bathroom. And I know we talked about big oversights before, but being the only bathroom in the entire mansion is crazy, is wild. Like, unless you do your business in the fireplace like I do sometimes, it's just such an oversight. Why would you have one bathroom in the entire mansion? I do like the toilet area itself. It is really cozy. It's sectioned off by this little wall here. I hate when there's too much space when I'm trying to use the bathroom, but it just makes you feel more comfortable when you have like a wall there. But it has one of those showers that make you feel even dirtier after you use it. You know, like if the shower curtain touches you once, you're like, I need to take another shower. I can't deal with this. Just imagine after you take a shower, you step on this damp, gross rug. It's like soaking wet. And the vanity itself is pretty neat. It's one of the only mirrors in the entire mansion, but that's not enough to pull it out of the C tier. All right, and the final room in the C tier is the large library. And libraries are usually amazing rooms, but this one is kind of a letdown. It just doesn't feel comfortable at all. I don't know what these kind of things are on the wall here, but it's not very library-like. There's so many books here, but no place to read it unless you just want to sit on this little stool here. I don't know. It's like, for a library, it just seems very hastily put together. I think it's the worst library in the mansion by far. And it's like, you have so many books, but just this little stool you can sit on to read? Like, come on, man. I don't know. I can't put it any higher than the C tier. All right, the first room of the B tier is the mansion hall second floor. And to me, the second floor main hall is just a better version of the first floor. There's more stairs to climb. There's more nooks and crannies you can hide in. It just feels like there's more stuff to do. And everything's carpeted, so it feels much more comfortable. Yeah, it's just more exciting to look at. I really like the idea of being higher up and just kind of looking out over everything, like, welcome to my mansion. Yeah, and I'm a really big fan of this banister rail thing here. Apparently these are called balustrades or something like that. Yeah, so I learned a lot making this video. But yeah, it's just a very fun upper floor section, so it definitely belongs in the B tier. Moving on. All right, next up is the tea room, and specifically this corner of the tea room. The rest of this tea room hallway could just kick rocks. I don't really care about that. But this little corner is so cozy and awesome. Like, the color is really nice, the lighting is perfect, it's just so quaint. You can just sit on this bench for hours and, you know, chat with Kenneth. The floor is really cool, and the rug is a very nice touch. If only there was a coffee table here, that would be perfect. But it's really the rest of this room that kind of drags this tea room section into the B tier. It's just very plain and the same thing once you go down the hall. If I could put a door like right here and block off the hallway, I would. And this tea room would probably rank higher, but as of now, it belongs in the B tier. All right, moving on, we have the lesson room entry. And this is just a very cozy room. It's much better than the lesson room, in my opinion. And normally this would be like a C tier room, but if you light this fireplace, just look at that. It's so cozy. I don't know. You could just sit here and stare at the fire for at least a few minutes, right? I honestly want to move the piano from the main lesson room and just put the lesson, just make this the lesson room, right? You can just seal off this door, bring everything in from the lesson room into here, and you have yourself a nice room. The room kind of has an abandoned house kind of feel, but in like a really good way. It's very minimalist. You can kind of just let your thoughts wander around while you stare at the fire. But the only thing really holding it back is the lack of chairs or a couch or a table or something. But yeah, like I said, if you bring in everything from the lesson room into here, including the 2 chairs and the table and the piano, this would be an A tier room. But for now, it's just a solid B tier. So next up, we have the art room. And I'm not a huge fan of how blue it is, but there's a lot of other things that just kind of elevate the room for me. There's so many cool pictures in here, and this picture of a chubby woman might be my favorite. Yeah, but all the paintings are great, not just the chubby woman. You have this beautiful oil painting. What do we have over here? Nothing unusual. I don't know, it looks cool to me. What do we have over here? A picture of a steep scenery. Yeah, just amazing paintings. Like, honestly, the statue is kind of an eyesore for me. It's the only thing that's kind of holding this place back. And like I said, the blue is kind of overwhelming for me. But if I duck back here, look how cool this back room is. It looks like you can just make your cosplay outfits here. And yeah, it's just a place where you can be really creative and do fun stuff. All right, moving on. All right, next up we have the west stairway, first floor. And I actually really like this hallway. I really love the floor color. I love the way it sounds under your feet. It's like nice and creaky and has like a really heavy bass tone to it. The lighting is really cool. And it just has so many windows that you can look through. And guess what? It has a nice pillar, but it's a really modest pillar, you know? It's not all... It doesn't have its identity surrounded by being a pillar room, you know? It just has a pillar, it does its job, and it plays a nice supporting role. Yeah, and like I would like to play hide and go seek down here. Like you could hide behind these stairs, right? And you can even hide behind this pillar here. I don't know. You get the idea. I kind of like this room. You can do a lot of stuff here. I'm going to put it in the B tier. And moving on, we have the green room. And it's like being outside, but you're inside. I always thought we were kind of outside until I really looked at the room. And I normally like green spaces, but this might be a little overboard for me. The fountain's pretty cool, and you can sit on these wooden bleachers here and just kind of stare at the water. And seeing the little bar area through the window is pretty cool, right? You can say hi to your friends. It's like a throwback to another room. And there's also a water pump here, which is really cool. And the lid is open. Look at that. So you could probably use this as a bathroom if the if the other bathroom's occupied, which it probably is. So moving on. All right, next up is the tiger statue room. And call me crazy, but I actually really like this room. I know I always talk shit about rooms being small and like there's nothing to do in there, but I think it really works for this tiger room. And this is like the exception to the rule. It's just too damn cozy not to be in the B tier, right? There's a tiger statue here that you can look at, and it says some tigers have a red eye and a blue eye. It's like you're talking to a toddler and you're like, wow, sweetie, that's really interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's a nice little room where you can just get away from it all, just kind of collect your thoughts. So yeah, it's just a nice room that's tucked away in a quiet corner of the mansion. You can just get away from all the craziness for a little bit and learn more about tigers. That's pretty neat. All right, next up we have the vacant room, and it definitely lives up to its name. It's really empty, really vacant, but I actually like the minimalist design. And there's nothing in here that shouldn't be here. Like, it has a nice desk, it has a nice little lamp, it has a pretty cool cabinet back here where you can put stuff. It's just kind of a nice little place where you can study. And it is a bit too studious for my taste. Like, I would go crazy. This just kind of brings back bad memories of studying and shit. But it does have a nice cozy quality to it, so I think it belongs in the B tier. So, moving on. Okay, next up we have the study. Another place where you can study. But I do like this really cool hardwood floor, even though it has the carpet sound effects as the previous floor for some reason. Yeah, it just has a nice little cozy desk. Oops. This Will is kind of sad. I think he unalives himself before he turns into a zombie, but I'll be damned if that researcher didn't keep his desk well arranged. And I love how neat and tidy it is. The bug display is definitely the star of the show in this room, and the fish tank is a bit too much, in my opinion. It's like, I don't know, pick one theme. Either have bugs in your room or fish in your room. You can't have both, right? It's just too cluttered, too overwhelming. So the room could be better, but for what it is, it's a solid B tier. All right, next up we have the terrace entry, and you might think I'm insane for this take, but I actually really like this room. The lighting is the main reason why. It's just perfect. It has two lights. They're the only lights you need in this little corridor, and it serves its purpose. It just gets the job done. Like, there's no fluff, there's no unnecessary thing, and it kind of reminds me of the PT hallway a little bit. I kind of like that. And I just like it because it's just so small and so quaint. It has such a vibe. I don't know. It's small, but not too much clutter, and it has this awesome shelf back here. And I like bloodstains, so I hope this blood isn't from my teammates. Unless it's Wesker, that little bastard. But just a solid B tier room. Okay, moving on. All right, next up we have another unconventional one, and I don't know what else to say other than I just like it. It's just so ugly, but in the best way possible. It has the worst yellowish brown color. It's like every bodily fluid combined into one color. But the layout is just so cool to me. I don't know, it just wraps around in this nice, exciting way. And it's not cumbersome like the second floor dining hall, in my opinion. This window back here is like the perfect touch. You can just hear the howling of animals, and you can just kind of peep the woods that are out there. It's just really nice, and just really quiet and pleasant. And I like these balustrades, or whatever they're called, these rails. And if I could change one thing, I would get rid of this rail right here, so you could just have a throughway to this other part of the hall. But other than that, it's just a solid staircase. Literally. It's just a pretty cool room. All right, next up is the closet. So hear me out on this one. I just think this room has so much potential. There's so many possibilities. This would be such an awesome like streamer, gamer room, right? Like, it's already set up for your PC with these shelves here. And yeah, you just throw a router in here and hang some posters on the wall. And this is an amazing little cozy gaming room. And I know it's small and minimalist, but it just allows you to focus, hunker down, play your game without any distractions. And that's just awesome to me. I would honestly probably live in this room if I could, but in all fairness, I can't put it any higher than the B tier. So moving on. Next up, we have the private library. And this is just a better version of the large library that's right next door. And it just seems like there's a better book selection here. Like, this should be the large library, in my opinion. And the star of the show for sure is this little hidden nook here where you have a little hidden desk and chair, and it just makes this room way more enjoyable. I don't know, think about it. Like, this room is just like a completely revamped large library room. You can play with this light here and push this statue if you need to like exercise or stretch your legs while you're reading or something. And I really like this room. There's not too many bad things I can say about it. Next up, we have the East Stairway, second floor. And I don't know why, but I really like this room a lot. The color is just really soothing. The layout is great. I love this banister up here where you can just kind of look out and see what's going on downstairs. And actually, one of my earliest memories, like as a human being, as a baby or whatever, was actually, I think at my great-grandfather's house. He had a banister kind of like this, and we would hang toys off of it with a string. Not like a noose around their neck, but just hang them off the, you know, just like rappel down the rails or whatever. Is this story even interesting? Jill's getting bored. So I love this giant painting here too, even though Jill doesn't comment on it. It just fits the room very well. And the stairs also have this flat part where you can just chill if you're too tired from walking up or down one of the flights. I don't know. I just like this room. I like the way it looks. I think spatially speaking, this room is amazing. So putting it in the B tier. All right, moving on to the A tier. Now we're getting into the best rooms in the entire mansion. And I might be a little biased here, and I can't help it, but I'm a little influenced by the game because it's a save room, but I just like it. Again, it has that calming brown color, and the wood floors are awesome. They have a single floodlight back here, so it's like just enough light in the room. And you have all these gardening tools you can play with. And the best thing about this room is it just reminds me of like one of those rooms at a house party, you know, where you just need to get the hell out of there and stop socializing for a second. So it's like a safe space, you know. I would put this in the S tier if it had a window or a proper chair, but I think A tier is pretty generous. Next up is the keeper's room. And this feels like an actual bedroom. Like it's like what the other bedroom wishes it could be. It's so nice and cozy. It has this awesome desk over here with plenty of space. It has everything you need. It has a bed, it has a bookshelf, it has a little vanity over here. It has a nice big desk with a chair and a giant closet. And some of the areas are carpeted, some are hardwood floor, and that's just a nice little touch. I can honestly imagine myself living in here and getting all itchy and tasty myself. But I think the biggest flaw in this room is, again, I don't know why I'm such a weirdo about nightstands, but this room definitely needs a nightstand. Like, you have to put your phone all the way over on this desk here. Like, come on, man. If it had a nightstand, it would be S tier. All right, next up is the large gallery. And this is the best art room in the entire game. Every painting in here is a work of art. And I know I'm not supposed to factor in like other parts of the game in this tier list, but I cannot imagine this room without the crows. And I like crows. I like how they hold grudges and stuff. And this room has phenomenal lighting all across this rail here. It really showcases each work of art. I guess the lighting didn't really hit this painting too much for some reason. It has much better lighting than the blue art room, in my opinion. So you can just chill out, admire the paintings here with your crow friends, and have a good time. That's why it's in the A tier. Next up, we have the outside boiler. And the outside boiler is a completely underrated room, in my opinion. The outside ambiance is awesome. It's like when you want to be in nature, but not too much in nature, you know? And I can just imagine, like, I don't smoke cigarettes, but I can imagine lighting up a cigarette here and just leaning against the boiler and watching YouTube videos on my phone. It's just like a perfect place where you can get away from everything and take a 5-minute break. You can imagine Barry coming in. He's like, "Jill, I found a way out of here. We just gotta..." It's like, shut the f*** up, Barry. Just give me 5 minutes. Let me finish my cigarette. Let me just chill out for a second. And we can escape, okay? Let me just chill for a second. Yeah, I just wish this place had a chair, but I guess these barrels can do. So it's just a solid, underrated room. Definitely A tier. Next up, we have the terrace. And this is another great outside place. And it has this amazing view of the Arklay Mountains. And of course, crows. It just makes everything better, right? And we have our next bloodstain here. And this balcony is just kind of cool, right? It has a table and chair, and they're kind of tucked away over here. And there's ivy crawling up these little rails here. The only thing is, I feel like this balcony is way too popular. Like, too many people know about this terrace, and it's it can get crowded so easily, like too many people coming in and out, you know? Like the boiler room is more low key, but it doesn't have that view, so it's like a trade-off, but both have their plus and minuses, but they both belong in A tier. Next up is the trophy room, and this room is a hidden gem, and it also literally has a hidden gem, which is cool. But honestly, to me, all the taxidermied animals are my least favorite part of this room. Also, I'm a gatherer, like I said. But you do have the option to turn the light on and off, and that's just huge. Like the atmosphere of the room is in your hands with the light on and off. Yeah, and you have this cool little rocking chair over here that kind of looks like your cool grandpa's chair. And he's like, look at all these animals I murdered. And you're like, that's cool, Grandpa. Can I play your Nintendo now? Yeah, just a cozy, comfy room. Solid A tier. And now we have the final 3. We covered 55 rooms so far. And the first room in the S tier is the courtyard study. This is honestly my favorite room in the entire mansion. It's just cluttered, but the perfect kind of clutter, right? Like this is a room where you can really sit down and get creative. And this window is such a huge bonus. And Jill says you can only see moonlight and dense forest, but that's honestly all I want to see out of this window, right? It's like you get the feeling of being outside while with the comfort of being inside. And I can't stress how awesome that is. You can also turn this light on and off and just really take charge of the mood. I would put LED lights somewhere around here if I could, but maybe they weren't invented yet. The wallpaper is a little ripped, but I kind of like that. Like it makes the room not too pristine. Like you're not afraid to get down and dirty, whatever that means. But just everything about it is so cohesive and so awesome. It's just the combination of the carpet and the hardwood floor. There's plenty of books to keep you happy. I just wish there was a bed in this room, but I'm sure you could put an inflatable mattress in here if you really wanted to. But this room is just one of the best rooms in the entire game and definitely deserves an S tier rank. All right, next up we have the mansion save room. And I tried really hard not to think about the actual game when ranking this room, but I really cannot get the music out of my head. It's just so relaxing and so soothing, and it's just so embedded in my mind. Yeah, the room is just such a chill vibe. Like you have this nice little desk over here, and you have a bed right next to it if you get tired of typing on your typewriter. And the best thing of all, you can even use this desk as a nightstand. And it has such a nice, hefty bookshelf with all these vitamins and stuff here. It's just very relaxing to me. And the wood trim around the room is just awesome. The color is perfect. It just really adds to the cozy vibe. Even though there's no window, I would absolutely live in this room. And the final room of the S tier belongs to the small library. It's just such an awesome, comfy room. It's just tucked away from all the craziness of the mansion again. It's just a place where you want to be after you socialize too much with so many zombies. I can't think of anything bad about this room. I don't think anything bad happens in this room ever, actually. And this door right here is a one-way entry. Like you can't come in from the outside, which is perfect. Like you don't want people walking in on you and stuff. And the lighting of this room is just perfect. The carpet seems super soft. I just want to sit here and read about herbs all day. And the bookshelf splits the room in such a cool way. Like just really adds some character to this space. And I think it sparks a shitload of joy. It's just a nice, quiet room. And at the end of the day, that's all I want. It's just such a nice, safe, chill environment. And it looks like it was designed by your grandma. So this room definitely deserves to be in the S tier. And that does it for our tier list. You made it to the end of the video, congratulations. And to answer the question of how many bloodstains are in the mansion, the answer is 5. And if you like content like this for some reason, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.